So I was thinking about what to say tonight. I mean, it's a rock service, and no one wants to hear a 20-minute sermon, let alone me. And I thought how wonderful it is we've all gathered together this evening for this service. And in times such as these, and we pray not to have too many times such as these, we often feel overwhelmed. We struggle with how to respond. When every day it seems like there's something else, some other hurt, some other heartbreak, some other sense of anxiety, some other sense of worry. What are we to do? And when thinking about that, I reflected upon a story I heard a number of years ago, and I've told versions of this before. In a mountain village many years ago, there was a Jewish nobleman who wanted to leave a legacy for the people of his town. So he decided to build a synagogue. In the course of his planning, the nobleman decided that no one should see the plans for the building until it was finished. He built a wall around the entire area and swore the workers to secrecy. They worked day and night. And the people of the town would gather around the walls, wondering what was going on inside. Finally, the work was completed. And the people began to enter. What they saw astounded them. No one could remember so beautiful a synagogue anywhere in the world except Omaha. They marveled at its magnificent windows and admired its intricate designs. They stood in awe of its craftsmanship and attention to detail. But then one of the crowd noticed a serious flaw. "Where are the lamps?" she asked. "What will provide the lighting?" The crowd began to look around, and indeed, there were no lamps. They began to talk amongst themselves. "He's built such a beautiful building, but forgotten to provide any light so that we can see when we worship." The murmuring grew louder and louder, until finally the nobleman held up his hand to silence the congregation. He pointed to a series of brackets that hung along the walls of the sanctuary, and he handed a lamp to each family. "The lamps," he said, "belong not to the synagogue, but to you. Whenever you come here, you should bring your lamp so that your light will fill this place of prayer. And each time you are not here, a part of the synagogue will be dark. Your community is relying on your light." In Judaism, light is a symbol for many things. It is a symbol for Torah. It is a sign of God's presence as we look to our Ner Tamid. It is also a symbol for life, for the presence of our fellow human beings. The lamps in the story remind us, as we sit here this night in our synagogue, of just how we need one another, just how much we rely on our connections with each other. So as you think about each day, and you wake up with concern, sometimes with dread, sometimes with fear, sometimes with anxiety, sometimes, God willing, with hope, and you wonder, what am I to do? How am I to respond? How am I to get out of bed? How am I going to take on this day? Just remember, each of you has a lamp. Each of you is a light. Each of you has a community who is willing to gather together to uplift and support you in your journey. Each of you is present. Each of you is a light to provide comfort to one another in times of despair. Each of you is a lamp. Each of you is a light to provide hope for better days. Yes, we face challenging times, but as Jews, we've always faced challenging times. And may the Shabbat remind us, inspire us to find that spark of light, that spark of the divine in ourselves and in each other. And when we feel those moments of despair and anxiety and dread, may we be able to find comfort knowing that we are not alone, and that when we share our lights with others, we lift up each other. We lift up our tradition, we lift up our community, we lift up Shabbat, and most importantly, we lift up our souls. Shabbat Shalom.